G'day, let's have a look at this Knipex CoBolt. Now CoBolt stands for Compact Bolt Cutters, so this is Knipex's very compact bolt cutters. This specific one will cut up to 5.2 millimeter steel, so really a lot of capacity for such a small tool. You can see that cutting edge there, right down the bottom, it's got this extra little indent. So the reason that is right down the bottom therefore is so you can fit bigger size material in there, and then as you cut it, it'll actually pull it towards itself and it'll hold it in that space instead of it being pushed out. So really nice tool. I just have this in the dipped coating because I wanted this to be as compact as possible. So that works really nicely. And you can see the pivot point is over here, really close to that cutting edge. So it's almost exactly where you're cutting, where the tool actually pivots. And that's good because you want as greater area from the pivot to the back of the handle, so wherever you hold it and get as much force. So the longer that distance, the more that force will be amplified onto this tiny little area here. So just have a few screws and bolts here. So just to cut that, it just does absolutely no problem at all. Especially if you do put it right inside, you can just cut it and it almost doesn't, it's just like butter. It really does, there's hardly any pressure to put into it and it cuts it really nicely. So it didn't cut that all the way through just because this is quite thinner and there is that little gap in there. So if you do cut something thicker at the bottom, there we go, that goes really nicely. And that really is very little force. The further away to do it, the harder it actually is. So there you go, that take quite a bit more effort. But if you do just cut it here, it really does that with no problem at all. This is a stainless steel screw here, and there it does take a little bit more effort, but really nothing that it struggles with. The other thing that I've noticed is, I mean, this is a new set, so I haven't done much cutting with it, so that blade on the front is still very sharp. But you can also just cut actual cable with this as well. If you don't have other tools to cut it, it actually cuts cable really nicely and leaves a pretty clean finish. Obviously not as good as if you use actual shears or something like that, but in a pinch it'll cut that as well fairly well. So just do a few more cuts. It's just a lot of fun really, because it's so easy to cut. No problem at all. So really nice kit. I have this in my toolbox. I don't need it all that often, but whenever I do, it really is indispensable and great to have to just cut through some chain or a couple of small padlocks. This really doesn't have an issue with it. So if you want to check it out, there's a link in the description. So thanks for watching.